So this is your Pro Buggy A main event.
Oh, wait, look at that. There's actually open space in the hay bales there. Almost like people don't want to sit in the danger zone.
Looks like we got a 15-second call, so cars have been filled. There's Joey. There's a good shot of Gord.
Only fitting that Joey Christensen sends him off for the final race of the night, final race of the week. The
Testament leading it out.
Longest, hardest, toughest, biggest off-road race of the year. And Tessman with the lead with 3 European drivers behind him. Figueredo, Barufalo, Ronafalk.
And Mayfield.
Right.
So there's your top 5 coming over that center triple section right now. Oh,
that was Figueredo.
Figueredo, and he gets collected by Cavallari. Cavallari lands rubber side down.
Yeah, so did Figueredo somehow.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he looks like he's going to be in maybe 10th.
So back up front, it's going to be Tessman leading out. Oh, Tessman puts it upside down.
Barufalo with a mistake as well, and Ronafalk drives the second spot. Mayfield the third. Mayfield looking to the inside of Ronafalk. Couldn't make it happen. Ronafalk go hee-haw over the double there before the washboard section, but able to punch it and carry it out.
You know, I think Barufalo saw Tessman doing the slow roll. He got on the binders not to get caught up.
Barufalo just destroyed, that would have been Ronafalk.
Yeah. So that's going to be, is that Tebow?
Mayfield, Batye now, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And that's the kind of start Ryan needed from 5th on the grid. He didn't exactly pass, 4 people, but he's still right there.
Still in the hunt.
Out front, Tessman and Ronafalk. And these two have some serious history. The 2014 world champion, 2016 world champion. They were teammates for like a year. Did not get along at all. There was a whole bunch of speculation that was the reason why, one of the reasons why Tessman left for X-Ray. And yeah, definitely no love lost between these two.
So you're thinking Ronafalk has definitely something to choose and set?
And at the same time, I think the one that's probably the bigger head game here, especially after Ronafalk beat Tessman straight up at the Worlds, Ty's probably going like, if there was any better way for me to just stick it to this guy.
Put it to rest.
Right. It would be to just leave him for dead right now.
Yeah. So there's the Team Associated Track Cam. You got Tessman leading out with Ronafalk in the 2. Tebow running the Kyosho up into the top 3. Then it's Mayfield, Battier, Bornhorst, Cavallari, Rivkin, Lutz, Ogden, Stees, Figueredo, Fend, Savoya, and Barufalo.
And the only 2 people that have ever won all 3 pro classes at this race are Ryan Mayfield and Ty Tessman. It's because they've won everything in this class like 20 times each. Ronafalk has a pro truck title and a pro e-buggy title, so he could become the first driver. Or
Tessman upside down.
Ooh, in a bad spot. So Ronafalk could become the 3rd driver to win all 3 classes. He'd be the first European winner of the Pro Nitro Buggy class. That would be a big accomplishment for him as well.
And it looks like Mayfield and Tebow going at it.
Yeah, Tebow jumping over Mayfield, heading into that washboard section, and then just punched it through the bumps to stay ahead.
Yeah, Mayfield got a little bit of a rough line coming into the rhythm section. Got it up on the piping, so had to back off. So Tebow going to go around for the top 2, Mayfield into 3, and then it looks like Bornhorst with the Techno up in the top 4. There's Ronafalk.
This would absolutely
Mayfield to the inside.
Absolutely been the biggest win of Bornhorst's career as he moves to the inside of Tessman as well. So Tessman going from 2nd to 4th.
That's actually going to be Tebow in 4th, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tebow in 4th. So there's Mayfield, Bornhorst.
And Tessman. That's definitely Ty's car.
You are correct.
Yeah. I know. 345 down, 41:15 to go. And Mayfield running 4.2 seconds behind Ronafalk. We can talk about this battle all we want, but if we forget about David just running away like he did in Vegas a couple years ago, just let everyone else behind settle it for themselves, and he just takes off. And Bornhorst might be the wrench that helps Ronafalk do that, because Mayfield and Tessman race together all the time. Neither of them really dice with Bornhorst a whole lot, so he may not have the same ebb and flow, give and take relationship that these other drivers have with one another. If he's able to get up there and mix it up a little bit, that would slow all 3 of them down.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you got Mayfield and Tessman coming in from the driver's stand right now. Bornhorst sitting in the top 4.
Ty short on the triple. Lucky he didn't bounce it over.
There's a shot of Ronafalk going underneath the overpass right now. He's got a 4.7 gap with 5 minutes in.
You know he's driving under there going, suckers. Oh, Mayfield hitting the bump coming onto the straightaway. Tessman had to run up the outside, but had to shut her down early.
So through the rhythm section, it's Mayfield under attack from Tessman with Bornhorst knocking on his back door. Bornhorst looking to the inside. Through that back triple section they go. Now Ty working it defensively.
Yeah, and that's going to allow Mayfield to get away because Ty's not in attack mode now. So Mayfield doesn't have to defend. He can focus on just driving ahead of him. Tessman's going to have to tighten up his corner entry, and you see that do that there. And that's what allowed Bornhorst to get to the inside. Tessman was too early turning into the corner, throwing off his rhythm a little bit.
Yep. So down the back straightaway, that is Joe Bornhorst moving into the top 3 with Tessman now dropping into the 4 spot. Ryan Cavallari from 7th on the grid up into the top 5. So there's a shot of those cars entering through that rhythm section. Bornhorst.
Yeah, Bornhorst bouncing off the end of the washboard there, turning around backwards. Tessman probably both taking a big sigh of relief and also like bummed out that he had to deal with that in the first place.
Yeah.
And now running 2.2 seconds behind Mayfield. Another second back to Bornhorst. New personal best for Cavallari last lap, 39.194, but the fastest car on the track by over a second was actually just over a tenth of a second. Mayfield over Ronafalk. That's a 5.4 second lead. Who's crashed there onto the bridge?
Cavallari upside down underneath the.
Oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
So Cavallari falling down there to Batye. So that is Batye moving up to 6th.
So back up front, still Ronafalk clicking by. 38.4 fast lap out of Ronafalk back on lap number 6. And Mayfield in that 2 spot. Tessman into 3, Bornhorst. Ogden now from 13th up to the top 5. Wonder what kind of prediction Ogden made.
He didn't.
Ah.
That was kind of the problem. I was pushing him for it. He's like, no, I'm not going to do that again after truck. Ooh, driving in there on Batye. Cavallari was looking for a way by going up the hill, but that's not really a wide enough spot to pass. At least not unless you're closer than that.
Absolutely.
Ronafalk on Mayfield. Picking up about a half a second last time by, so now it's up to nearly 6 seconds.
Now Mayfield and Ronafalk coming in front of timing and scoring with Tessman. So there's top 3 right there.
Ronafalk must have had a mistake. 44.6, and Mayfield now right on him with Tessman. So the top 3, less than a second and a half apart. The line last time by, and this will be the first time Ronafalk's really been challenged in this race. Let's see if he can hold off Mayfield as well
as Tessman.
Right.
And they should be coming up on a fuel stop here pretty soon. They're 7.5 minutes in. 37:30 left to go. So Mayfield going for a different line through the rhythm section.
Yeah,
lost
really
some time on that one. Didn't gain really anything on that. So Ronafalk going to pull out a little bit more of a gap. Mayfield just sending it over that roller. Ronafalk in. Mayfield in.
So that tells me right away Tessman's going to try to eliminate a stop. You either have to do 7:30 or 9. And we know that the associated drivers, Cavallari and Rivkin, will try to go 9. And Mayfield there, almost catastrophe on the top of the bridge. I bet the associated guys go 9, and I bet Tessman goes 9. See, Ogden pitted at 7. Ogden never gets good fuel mileage, so that alone might spell doom for his chance at definitely at the podium, if not a top 5. Because that would end up having to add a whole stop if he can't go 7:30.
Absolutely.
Here's Mayfield, 2.3 seconds behind Ronafalk. And Tessman, 2.5 seconds behind Tessman. Now he's even with the pit stop. So Tessman's going to have to be rock solid, even though he's going to have one fewer stop. The fact that Ronafalk was able to put enough distance there to only come out with less than a 3-second gap, that's 3 seconds for that one extra pit stop.
Absolutely.
Not worth it.
Nope. So there's a good shot of Mayfield over that back triple section, sitting in the top 3 right now. Ronafalk coming by the start-finish line right now in the 2.
And Tessman
in.
Yep, right at 9 minutes.
There's Tessman off the end of the straightaway.
Off the end of the straightaway? Crashed? Or, okay, there he is. No, getting out and actually in front of Mayfield. So really good stop there. Again, Mayfield must be running an older transponder. Didn't trigger our pit timer, which is a bummer. Tessman's pit crew 0.6 of a second faster than Ronafalk, which is huge. If you're going to stop 4 times in a race,
It's almost a second.
Right.
Or more.
Well, yeah, that's 2.5 seconds.
2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
So Ronafalk from the driver's stand, Tessman from the driver's stand, Mayfield from the driver's stand. That's your top 3 right there. Then you got Ogden, Battier, Bornhorst, Rivkin now up into the top 7. Savoya, Cavalieri, Fenn, Tebow, Barafulo, Stees, Figueredo, and Lutz out early on. Looks like Lutz had some technical difficulties.
Interestingly, looking at their pit laps, though, Tessman had a 42.2, was a half second faster. The whole lap, pit stop included, was a half second faster than what Ronafalk did. And from Ronafalk to Mayfield was 1.3. So Mayfield's pit lap, including the pit stop, we don't know how long his pit stop was, but the whole lap cost him over a second just to Ronafalk. And there's another half second, so he lost almost 2 seconds to Tessman on the pit stop.
Yeah. So through the drop down they go. You got Ronafalk leading out, Tessman giving chase. And like it was said, there's a little bit of history going on right there. So both of those camps want to put each of their cars on the top spot. Ronafalk through that center section, Tessman through the center section, Mayfield through the center section. With 10 and almost 11 minutes in, 34 minutes left to go. Long race. Oh, Ronafalk puts it up on 2 wheels, going to get off the binders. Here comes Tessman under attack now.
I hope these guys duke it out for 45 minutes.
Ronafalk puts it up on the tubing. Oh, gets a little bit of bunk and rub.
Yeah, Ronafalk hit the pipe, but all it did was push him over into Tessman's line. Ty had nowhere to go but to bump him. Hard on the brakes there up on the AstroTurf, slowed him down. Maybe Tessman looking to the inside. Ronafalk left the door wide open, and then you see he jumped way to the inside of the lane to try to block it from happening in the next 180. And that tells me Ronafalk is kind of in panic mode to just try to block Ty. Mayfield just sitting back there waiting.
Yeah, Mayfield no stranger to this. He's just sitting back waiting for these two to collect one another or make a mistake and collect that spot. He can stay within striking distance. He knows he's got something for him. But Ronafalk Tessman doing the drop down. Mayfield about 15 feet back. Going through the over-under.
Less than 1.2 seconds separate the top 3. Whoa, Ronafalk spinning the tires going up the straightaway. Tessman just blew on by him. But Ronafalk to the inside. They get together. Mayfield almost dove in on Tessman there. Could have had almost both of them. And Mayfield had to lock up the brakes not to run Tessman over and give Ronafalk a big lead.
Absolutely.
Interesting to note, too, Ronafalk and Mayfield on J Concepts tires, Tessman on Pro Lines. Will that come into play? We've talked to some of the Pro Line guys, or actually just a lot of the drivers in general. The track a little bit wet in the cold on Sunday night. Gets a little bit greasy, a little bit slick in spots. Tends to favor one tire over another. Oh, Ronafalk
off the
that
track.
Was weird. Because even when he got back on the dirt, I don't know if he just didn't want to turn and crash the car, or if that was some sort of radio glitch. Got a Savox Instant Replay. What on earth? We went way back for this one. Tessman motored by. And Ronafalk knew he needed to square him up. And then here's where they tangle.
Mayfield getting on the binders.
Oh, Ronafalk crashed in that same spot. Tessman gets by. Wow. Deja vu.
Deja vu. Now it's all up to Tessman to put real estate between himself and Ronafalk.
Yep. Can he just pull away now that he's got no one to chase, no one behind him? This is sort of Tessman's forte here. If he can just get out and get a chance to put in, nope, not coming up short on the triple like that, he won't do it. That's what we saw when Ty won the Worlds. That's what we saw when Ty swept the Roar Nationals last year. That's just kind of his game. Get him out front. He had a chance to do that at the beginning of the race. Couldn't do it. Ronafalk staying tight now.
Closing up on the back bumper. Ronafalk definitely going to challenge through that switchback section coming into the rhythm section right now. Ronafalk under braking, trying to gain up on the back door of Tessman. Mayfield sitting in the top 3.
Tessman driving so hard, you see him hitting the pipe there at the bottom of those off-camber corners.
In from the driver's stand, Ronafalk and Tessman.
Oh, Ronafalk had to back out and double his way out of the front rhythm section. That gives Tessman a little bit of time to breathe. Ogden up to the 4th spot, but already pitting here at the 14:24 mark. He did go quite a bit longer on his second stint.
So Tessman off the end of the straightaway. Through that double section he goes. Ronefalk in the 2. Looks like somebody going sideways in the back corner. I believe that was Figueredo.
Yeah, tough to see Joao and Marco down in 11th and 13th.
Oh, we got a flame out of somebody.
Uh-oh. Well, it's
Barofalo?
not, yeah. So it wasn't Tessman or Ronefalk. That's really,
That's really
all that matters in my book.
Yep.
There's Ronefalk getting around Joao Figueredo. Oh, tumbling on the back straightaway. And so that's going to give Ty probably his biggest lead of the race so far.
Absolutely.
It was a second and a half at the line.
This time by, it's going to be even more than that. 15 and a half down, 29:30 left to go. It's Ty Tessman leading out in your Pro Buggy A main event. David Ronefalk in the 2, Mayfield in the 3, Cole Ogden from 13th on the grid up to 4th. Bornhorst, Battier, Cavalieri, Savoyer, Fend, Thibaut, Stees, Rifkin, Figueredo, Barafulo. And somebody's in for fuel.
And Ronefalk, yep, in and out, 7.4. That is a full second slower than Tessman's first stop.
Yep.
So if Tessman can do another 6.5, 7.0 fuel stop, making up a second to a half second a lap, per pit stop, that adds up a ton by the end of the race. And we know that Tessman camp takes those very seriously. Let's see if, no, it's still way too early. If he's going 9 minutes, he's got another almost 3 left to go.
Absolutely.
Tessman over the right side triple. Ronefalk 7.5 seconds back, only 1.3 up on Mayfield. And that could be another big boon for Tessman to have Mayfield start to badger Ronefalk. Got Joe Bornhorst and Cole Ogden rounding out the top 5. Would be a terrific run for Cole to score a top 5.
Especially after bumping in the 13th spot. So Tessman in the tabletop step up. He's got almost, probably 8.2 seconds at least, back to Ronefalk. There's your leader off the end of the straightaway over that center triple. Through the drop down. Making his way through the underpass. Getting around the back marker.
Is that Thibaut going super slow down the straightaway?
Looks like it.
Yeah. That's kind of scary. Like not meeting the minimum speed on the freeway.
Yeah.
Mayfield, I think. Is that Mayfield tumbling? No.
So Tessman leading out. Ronefalk in the 2. Mayfield another 0.7 of a second off the back door of Ronefalk. So that's going to be your closest battle for second and third.
Yeah, Ronefalk seriously out of shape through that first off-camber corner. And then tumbling again in the last corner, yeah. Ronefalk now in the clutches of Mayfield, just over 0.6 ahead. Robert Battier, 7.3 seconds behind Ryan Mayfield in the 4th spot. Joe Bornhorst, another 1.8 back in 5th. Cole Ogden dropping to 6th. Renaud Savoy 7th. Ryan Cavalieri 8th.
Leader's still going to be Ty Tessman coming by the start-finish line right about now. In that 2 spot is going to be Ronefalk coming over that roller. Tessman in for fuel.
Yep, 18:14. That's right on it. Man, I remember announcing races and having to write down on a piece of paper when the people pitted. Now it's on live time for me. Ronefalk trying to dive inside a couple of slower cars, and he does. Mayfield not able to clear him just yet. That could help Ronefalk. Mayfield trying to dive inside on the straightaway.
Off of Thibaut.
I gots to go. At least Thibaut would understand that. I don't know. Next car, Figueredo. I'm sure he's got the memo.
Yeah. There's Tessman right there. Ronefalk right there. And Mayfield over that roller. So Tessman in front of the driver's stand. Ronefalk in front of the driver's stand. Mayfield in front of the driver's stand. So that's your 3-car dance right there. Top 3 coming into the drop down right now. Tessman doing the drop. Ronefalk doing the drop, and Mayfield doing the drop. With 20 minutes in, 25
very nearly
minutes to go.
40% of the way through.
Yep.
Yeah, so not even halfway done.
Exactly. So Ty Tessman over that back triple section. Coming in front of the tabletop step up by the start-finish line. Ronefalk Give and chase, he was 2.1 back last time. This time by, going to be 1.3. Tessman a little short on that last jump. Rodefalk going to gain upon that back door.
Came up short on both triples there. And so here's new battle for the top spot.
So Rodefalk with some newfound fire.
Yeah, as in I got to go get that guy. This is personal.
Well, you can see Tessman in his sights now, so
right, definitely
make him drive even harder.
Definitely easier to follow than to lead.
Yep.
Tessman's going to be thrown out of his rhythm again. Had been all out by himself for a while. And now he's got to play a little bit of defense. Rodefalk can sort of do whatever he wants.
Coming up on the back door of Fend. Lapping up into the top 9 right now. That is Tessman and Rodefalk. Mayfield, another 2.3 back.
Lapping into the top 10 as the next car ahead. Looks like Dakota Fend in 9th. Great recovery for Dakota. Bumping into the final here, looking at the top 10, maybe more. Tessman, nearly a big mistake there through the washboard.
Rodefalk just floating over that roller, trying to get in every inch.
Those jumps look so cool.
Yep.
Just clearing the top of it and hard on the throttle downhill.
Closing under braking, Rodefalk off the top of that drop down. Looking to the inside, almost on the pipe. Coming down that back straightaway. Who's got the run? Rodefalk looking to the inside, under braking.
Oh. Not quite.
Not going to pull it that time.
Rodefalk drives into that corner harder, but then he pushes out wider on the exit. And Tessman's able to pull forward down the hill. So just a little bit of a different approach.
And Tessman bumping off the tube right there. Rodefalk on the binders.
That's where that difference is between leading and following, because Tessman never would have entered the corner that tight to begin with. And because he's already doing that, he has to go slower. And Rodefalk just goes in even tighter, brakes harder. He knows because Tessman's going to be already slower in and out of the corner, he can do that and then try to regroup if it doesn't work.
Yep, possibly force an issue.
Right.
So Tessman through the bowl turn, Rodefalk through the bowl turn, coming through the rumble assumptions they go.
It's not like in, full-size car racing, NASCAR, F1, where when you're following right up on a car, you lose downforce and the car handles worse.
Yep.
It doesn't change like that. So Rodefalk can drive it in there and know it'll stick just like it does without anybody ahead.
Tessman coming up a little short on that second triple. Drop back probably 1.5 to 2 feet. Rodefalk still gain and chase through the over. There's Mayfield right there in the top 3.
Yep.
Then it's going to be Battier, Bornhorst, Cavallari up into the top 6, Savoya, Ogden down to the top 8, Dakota Fenn, Jared Tebow, Tanner Stees, Figueredo, Rivkin, Barafulo, and Lutz back up and running.
And Tessman here with some breathing room after Rodefalk making a mistake during our rundown of the field. And Tessman getting to take a deep breath for the first time in several laps, stretching out a 2-second lead. And 2 seconds doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when 2 seconds can be a rollover or a mistake or bouncing up into the bridge area here, as long as you land back on your wheels, that's all they need. Especially these guys are used to racing electric, where the track is a third the size, and 2 seconds is nearly 20% of the lap.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 2 seconds is big.
Tessman leading out still. Rodefalk in the 2. 24 minutes in, 21 minutes left to go. 21 minutes left to go. So here comes Tessman in front of the driver's stand right now. Rodefalk coming in for fuel.
Let's see how this goes. Up on the blocks, back down.
7.1.
Better.
Still not a 6.8 like Tessman's was.
Right. So again, even if it's just 0.2, 0.3, half a second a pit stop. And, we talk all the time about Tessman's work on that kind of thing at home. They practice.
Yep.
And Rodefalk crashed into the bowl
down.
turn. That's a much bigger disadvantage than his pit stop. So we are about 3 minutes away from Tessman's next pit stop. And so let's see what lap times Tessman's able to do. Rodefalk's pit lap, including that crash, a 45.2.
There he goes, Tessman down the back straightaway. Through the double section. Into the bowl turn. Calm and smooth. Up on the piping. Going for the option line on that one through the back triple. Tessman working his way around some back markers.
Charging up over that first step-up jump. Just trying to do the same thing every lap. Actually, that was quite a bit faster than his lap before, 0.6 of a second faster. Over the right side triple there, Tessman, Ronnefock, Mayfield, Battier, Bornhorst. The lead for Tessman, 9.2 over Ronnefock, and of course that takes into consideration Ronnefock's extra pit stop to this point. We won't see the advantage of Tessman's one fewer fuel stop until Ronnefock pits at the 37:30 mark.
Roughly thereabouts, yep.
Yeah, give or take 60 seconds.
Tessman leading out still. Over that back jump he goes. Clicking off yet another lap. Fast lap out of Tessman, 38.5, 38.4 out of Ronnefock. Tessman off the end of the straightaway. Ooh.
Oh. See,
that could have been disastrous.
Yeah, 2 seconds, though, would have been big enough for that.
Yeah.
Now 9.2 seconds. He can do that 4 times. A little bouncy there coming down the hill as well. I think that's the first time I've seen Tessman get out of shape, because he's usually tighter coming down the hill there. And we've seen Ronnefock crash coming down that hill a couple times. I think those are the bumps that he's been hitting. Robert Battier up to 4th. So he's still got 2 Europeans in the top 4. The 2 that have been here more than once.
About 18 minutes left on the race clock. It's Tessman leading out. Mayfield now moving up into the top 2. Ronnefock dropping it to the 3 spot. Battier in the 4. Bornhorst, Cavalieri.
Here's Joe Bornhorst in that block-powered Techno Buggy with Proline tires. Up over the right side triple. I think this might be, this would be his best finish in the Buggy class, because we were talking about this on, I think, Friday night, and at least before this main started, my best finish in Pro Buggy at this race was better than his. So, unfortunately, it looks like he's going to beat that unless he breaks. He's got 14 seconds on Renault Savoia, and then another 2.4 back to Cavalieri from there. Cavalieri and Ogden actually a little battle for the 7th spot, it looks like.
Down the back straightaway, it looks to be, that is Mayfield.
Oh, Tessman has been in for his 3rd pit stop. We missed it. He actually pitted a little bit early from his window, 26:52, because otherwise he would have been at 27:30. And I mean, I don't know. I think had I been Gord, I probably would have had him stay out the 1 more lap, because now if it comes down to it at the end of it, he could be going 10 or 10:30 instead of 9:45.
It's a battle right there coming down the back straightaway. That is Ryan Mayfield and David Ronnefock. Off the end of the straightaway, coming up on the back door of Tebow, it looks like. Through that double section they go. Mayfield hooking up a pipe, no harm, no foul. Gets it short. Ronnefock with a run.
That's what Ty needs. These guys beat on each other.
Ty Tessman, your leader on the track. Mayfield in 2.
And around Renault Savoia. Savoia thought he might have something to win this race. 8th. Not exactly at the top of the box. Still a pretty good run from 12th on the grid.
Absolutely. So now Savoia in between Mayfield and Ronnefock. So there's Tessman coming down the back straightaway, Mayfield coming down the back straightaway, Ronnefock coming down the back straightaway.
Coming up on Ogden, so that would be putting the top 7 a lap down.
And Mayfield hard on the brakes. Looking to the inside, there is Tessman trying to find a way around Ogden. And here comes Mayfield over that tabletop step up. Mayfield looking to the inside. Ogden goes out the outside to get some fuel.
Yep. And in the process, wow, both of them coming up short on the triple. If the lap times and pace that they're on right now play out, only the top 5 would finish on the lead lap. Oh, Tessman
Mayfield
kicking hard coming down the straightaway. Hee-haw!
That's right.
And
donkey kick.
Yeah, Mayfield able to take over the lead. Ronnefock waiting back there, probably wishing that Tessman had just tumbled so he could get right on by without having to work for it.
Exactly. Now Mayfield going to lead out with 30 minutes in, 15 to go. It is Mayfield, Tessman, Ronnefock. Top 3 cars coming in front of the driver's stand right now.
Sevox instant replay on what happened here on the back straightaway. You watch Tessman's car hit the inside. Wow, that was violent. That looked way worse in slow-mo than it did at real speed. Here they are again through that section on the same lap. Tessman, same corner, same rut. That's not like Tessman at all. He did the same exact thing.
Next lap around.
That was not worth it.
So Mayfield and Rodefalk now.
Gord is going to come unglued in pit lane for that. And by that, I mean, like, his face won't even change. But Mayfield with a mistake. Rodefalk by for the lead.
Exactly. So you got 30 minutes in, less than 15 minutes left on the master clock. 14 and a half minutes to be exact. It's David Rodefalk, your new leader. It was Ty Tessman. He got a rough patch of luck coming on the back straightaway. Mayfield in the 2. Tessman still sitting in the top 3. He is about 7.5 seconds back. There's a good shot of Tessman's car right there. Rodefalk coming through that switchback section over the floater tabletop. And he's coming in for fuel. Mayfield in for fuel. So these two are going to resume that race and stay on top of one another. Rodefalk out, Mayfield out.
Ooh. Where's Tessman? Uh-oh, Rodefalk upside down.
Yeah.
Engine still lit.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And there's Tessman right behind him.
Tessman, unfortunately, was not close enough to benefit there. That's because Tessman's crash lap of 46.2. So give that 6 seconds back, and Tessman's leading the race going away.
Yeah. There's Mayfield. Rodefalk. And Tessman should be coming into view.
I wasn't paying attention that's when those two were pitting, because that made Tessman's wreck come at pretty much the worst possible time.
That was a little bit of a wise pit strategy of your top 2 front runners. Mayfield put it up on 2 wheels, hitting that same rut that Tessman did. Not getting unsettled. Mayfield, Rodefalk through the center section of the track. Tessman right there as well, another 1.5 back.
We've been talking about the fuel mileage strategies and how Tessman's going to pit one fewer time. Tessman's pitting every 9 minutes, so he's got to pit at 9, 18, 27, 36, and he's done in 4 stops. Otherwise, to do it in 5 stops, you got to go 7:30. Then you're at 7:30, 15, 22, 30, 30, 37, 30, and then you're done.
Yep.
So you can be anywhere in the middle there. You know, you might pit at 8 and 16, and then, you know, your last stop, you're, you know, pitting at the 40-minute mark or the 42-minute mark. But those are the cutoffs to be able to make it and cut out that one fewer stop. And that's what Tessman's doing. That, again, we won't see that advantage until his last pit stop is at 36. And then at that point, they'll have both stopped 4 times. And then Rodefalk and Mayfield will have to pit for a 5th time at 37:30, just 90 seconds later. And that's when we'll see the benefit of Ty's fuel mileage strategy.
And Tessman making his way around Rodefalk for the top 2. Rodefalk getting it sideways, coming down the back straightaway. So it is Mayfield leading out. You see Mayfield right there entering into that double-double section. Tessman and Rodefalk. So there's Mayfield, first car in line over that back triple. Tessman giving chase. Rodefalk into 3.
Mayfield, the best he's looked all race. A 39.689 last time by was actually the slowest of the top 3. Looking for his 2nd consecutive Nitro Buggy Championship, having already won his 3rd straight electric title earlier. And looking back through the history all the way back to the year 2000, the first ever year of this race, no one has ever won the Nitro Buggy class 2 years in a row. So if Mayfield can do that, he'd be making a Dirt Nitro Challenge history as well.
And I know that's the one thing that Mayfield's really been trying to work on is the program that he has to make it as consistent and easy to drive as possible. So he's definitely been putting in some laps and trying to figure things out. And, you know, it's definitely showing right now. He's got 35 minutes in, 10 minutes left. Mayfield leading out, Tessman in the 2, Rodefalk in the 3. So there's Mayfield underneath the underpass. Tessman underneath the underpass, and Rodafalk underneath the underpass. Tessman getting that bump again, but keeping the car on all 4 wheels.
Looks like Dakota Fenn, dropped out of this one a little bit ago.
And now Tessman under attack from Rodafalk. Through the rumble section they go.
Yeah.
Rodafalk looking high, looking low, looking for some place to go.
Looking like his car just has way more grip.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a lot better forward drive.
Right. Yeah, sometimes lacking a little bit of side bite is nice because it helps the car slide over the bumps, and once you learn how to drive it that way, you can still be precise with it, but being able to punch it and not just light the tires up,
that's something else.
Yeah. Oh, not only does it increase your drive out of the corner, but it's better on fuel mileage.
Yep. So there's Mayfield, Tessman, and Rodafalk through our Team Associated Track Cam. Oh, Tessman gets it sideways. Rodafalk to the inside.
And where will Tessman try to get him back? He knows he's got to do it sooner than later.
Yep.
Not here in this 180. Nope, not quite enough. Is this a matter of tires? Oh, Tessman with a shot at the top of the hill. No, Rodafalk was going to the inside of the corner there. Tessman or not. Tessman the inside there. Wow.
And back to the inside. Oh, nice to that rumble section.
Yeah, I thought for sure Rodafalk was going to hit those bumps that had killed Tessman a little bit ago.
Car just floated right through it.
Oh, he got to the inside of it. Just a totally different approach. That was a wild sequence, though. We saw
Cavallari going a lap down.
Tessman send it in a couple spots there. I didn't think he would. Rodafalk fighting right back, and here comes Tessman in for his final stop. So let's see if he's got another one of those Tessman pit stops. That one actually 7.2, so that was a half second slower than Rodafalk's previous stop. Which, like, if they needed a good one, that was it.
Yep.
And hope the rest of the lap is clean there. And he's basically got to run clean from here on out to make this one fewer stop an advantage. Because at the moment, they've both done the same amount of fuel stops. Rodafalk's a half second behind Mayfield. Tessman is another 2.3 seconds back, and Robert Battier, oh my goodness, Battier is up in the mix, but he's going to have to pit an extra time. Tessman with a little mistake there at the end of the straightaway. That's going to kill that advantage.
I didn't see. Do we have something happen with Mayfield where Rodafalk got around him? Because it looks like it.
Wow, yep.
So Rodafalk now into that lead spot. Mayfield in the 2, but they still have to go in for their final pit. So it's going to be interesting. Are they going to do it now?
Yep.
Here goes Rodafalk.
Mayfield
staying out.
Oh, yeah. That makes me think Mayfield's next lap, or next pit, has to be on this next lap. He's already within 7:15. Probably just didn't want to be in pit lane at the same time and risk a collision there.
Absolutely. Now is that Robert Battier behind Mayfield as
Yeah.
well? So Battier from Portugal, sitting in Spain.
Yeah, Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Amazing city.
So
Like, top 3 favorite places.
Yep. So Mayfield and Battier.
Oh,
no.
both of them. Who lands on the wheels? Battier.
Oh, Battier, Mayfield going for the option
Battier
line.
into pit lane. Mayfield into pit lane. Oh, Mayfield with a horrible stop.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a good thing we don't see Mayfield's pit timer there because that was not good.
Not good. So with 6.5 minutes to go. Ooh.
Yeah, and Battier's pit stop, fire.
Yeah.
6.479. Yeah, Savox instant replay here. Up over the step up. Mayfield clipping the top. Battier clips the top. Battier, both of them tumble. The Mugen Seiki Racing teammates, both of them probably just holding their breaths. Here comes Rodafalk, drives his way in there.
So Rodafalk up top again. Tessman in the 2, Battier in the 3. Mayfield in the 4.
And by Battier in the 3, we mean right there.
Yep. Oh, somebody stuffed it at the end of the straightaway.
I didn't see who that was. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go.
Your 45-minute Pro Buggy A main event. There is Ronafalk. There's Battier, Tessman. So Battier sitting in the top 2. Tessman into 3, and there is a shot of Mayfield, I believe, coming into the file right now.
What a change this would be. The year that a European driver wins the Nitro Challenge for the first time, they go 1-2.
1-2. So there is Ronafalk off the end of the straightaway again. Look at that tube getting moved up after a car went underneath it. There's Battier. He is 2.7 back off of Ronafalk. Somebody stuck on the tube.
Yep.
So there is David Ronafalk, your leader.
Yeah, that's Joao Figueiredo running in the 12th spot. His first time in the Nitro Challenge. Super fast in qualifying. It's been 48 hours since the last time they, had run a qualifier. Here, I'm sure, a total different track, a whole bunch of changing conditions here. They haven't been to this race before.
Absolutely.
I really look forward to seeing what Figueiredo and Barufalo, maybe even a driver like Max Mort, come over here and see what they can do in the pro class in a few years. I mean, Battier's been to this race like a half dozen times, and this is the first time that I think he's finished in the top 5. So,
yeah.
Tough run. I think I had a little higher hopes for Figueiredo and Barufalo than were really reasonable. Here's Robert Battier. I love the Hot Race carbon wheels with the taller, they've got the black stripe around the end, so it makes the tire look like it's got a taller sidewall. It looks cool.
There's Battier with Tessman in tow.
Yeah.
3:30 left on the master clock. Ronafalk leading out. Battier in the 2. There's Robert Battier.
Interesting to see the difference between like how Mayfield's MBX8 and Battier's MBX8 work. I know like totally different tires, but obviously totally different setups as well. Battier's car just looks stuck to the ground like Velcro, and Mayfield's car is sliding all around. He's just punched, tires lit up everywhere.
And Battier's got a huge amount of drive off the corner. Look at him just pull Tessman right there.
Just yanks away from him down the corner. This is the 2012 World Champion and the 2014 World Champion with the 2016 World Champion out front.
Yep. There's reason he's a former world champion.
Ooh.
2:50 left on the master clock in your 45-minute Pro Buggy A main event. Right now you're watching David Ronafalk leading out. Robert Battier in the 2. Ty Tessman in the 3. Ryan Mayfield sitting back in the top 4. Now Tessman getting it wrong off that triple section. That's going to drop him back off of Battier with 2:30 left to go on the clock. Mayfield coming sideways off the top of the hill. With 2:15 left on the master clock, David Ronafalk just trying to keep it rubber side down. He knows he's got it in the bag. Robert Battier sitting in the top 2. He's got about 4.5 seconds on Tessman. And he does. He got about 4 seconds on Tessman. Tessman over the triple section with ease. Mayfield another 6.6 back. There's a shot of your leader. David Ronafalk through the back section, coming down the back straightaway. Off the end of the straightaway, under braking, keeping it rubber side down, trying not to get the car upset. He's got 2.1 seconds on Robert Battier, so he knows time winding down.
1:35 left to go on lap number 66 of a projected 69. And it looks like it's going to be just the top 3 that get by for that extra lap. Ryan Mayfield will finish about 4 seconds after the tone. There's Ronafalk
going wide.
Yeah, and looking a little scary too, kind of a dead sailor, like he needed to rip on it. There's a look at Ronafalk, just stone-faced, watching his car go around the track.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit of nervous mouth movement. You see a lot of drivers when they're super focused. I know my mouth used to just hang open.
Fish hook?
Yeah, flies in and out. It's awful.
So we are less than a minute left in your Pro Buggy A main event, winding it down here. 2018 Dirt Nitro Challenge. It's all over but the champagne getting uncorked. Is it going to be Ronafalk? Is it going to be Battier? Gap is going to be 2.4 seconds. Final time off the drop down. That is David Ronafalk. through the over-under, makes it nice and collected. Robert Battier in the 3, Tessman in the 4, Tessman in the 3, Mayfield in the 4. So there is David Ronefalk. Final time around the track, less than 20 seconds. He will possibly get by for one more. 15 seconds left to go. And here we go with less than 10. Ronefalk going to get by for one more lap. Makes the turn and over the triple. Battier going to make it by as well. So they will be racing to the line. It is Battier, Ronefalk, and Tessman. Your 3 cars still on the lead lap. Time has expired. So all eyes on Ronefalk. Needing to keep it rubber side down, coming down that back straightaway. He's got Battier 1.8 seconds back, hard charging. Off the end of the straightaway, a little out of focus on the double-double section. Going into that back double rhythm section. Final trip over the triple section. Making that right-hander, getting a little sideways into the tube, over the roller. Tabletop step up, here comes Battier, giving it everything he's got. Ronefalk hooks up a pipe. Is it gonna be Ronefalk? Oh my goodness. Ronefalk hooking up a pipe. Battier almost sneaking to the inside to be the Cinderella story. Tessman in 3rd. Mayfield, Bornhorst, Savoya, Cavallari, Ogden, Stees, Tebow, Rifkin, Figueredo, Barafulo, and Lutz.
Falk, first European driver ever to win the Nitro Challenger Pro Nitro Buggy. How does it feel?
It feels awesome. I mean, I got the same feelings back when I was in Vegas, when I won the Worlds. They were a lot closer this time though, so it was a tense there on the last few laps. On this gnarly track, it's super rough out there, hard to stay clean. The jump section in the front, super tough. I saw him closing down, but I just trying to stay cool. Made it over the last step up, caught the pipe a little bit, but I just made it over the line, and feels so good. It feels so good.
Is it more satisfying when it's close?
For sure. I mean, this is for sure the closest. I mean, I had a Euros in 2013 with Savoy as well, but this is probably the closest race that I've won in a long race like this. So it feels so
good at this race before, but I feel like you had a little something extra this year. What was it?
Yeah, definitely. In the buggy was always good since the start of qualifying. I was struggling a little bit in truggy and e-buggy, so it feels so great now being able to cap off the win here. And then, yeah, I'm going to stay here another week for Desert Classic. But, yeah, first big race was Montpellier. I was a bit disappointing for us, but came back strong here, and yeah, it feels so great. Did
you know that you were not only the first European to win, but also only the second driver ever to win all 3 different classes at this race?
That's pretty awesome. I didn't know the second one. I knew the first one in Pro Nitro Buggy, so yeah, that feels great. But yeah, it was a great battle out there. It was clean. Robert, he creeped up on the end, and Ty, me, and Mayfield had to go at it, and yeah, it was just amazing race.
Anybody you want to say thank you to?
I want to thank the whole HP Racing team, Team Orion, Adrian, J Concept, Jason is here, track support, yeah, just everybody supporting me, my whole family back home. I know they are watching, and yeah, I'm just so happy. Thank you all.
Congratulations, David.
Thank you.
And Robert Battier, his best finish ever at this race, second job, great job.
Yeah, thank you. It has been so hard. I started at the back and I had a lot of traffic and I lost so many seconds from them, so I had to bump up a little bit and try to catch them, but they were super fast. So it got me so quite much than expected. And finally, I was so close. I think it has been less than 1 second difference, but I mean, I'm happy because I'm top 3 at least here in the USA, but we were so close. Qualifying, going from 8th, it has been quite critical for me, but I'm quite good.
Same with David. We've seen you at this race many, many times, but this time you were far closer to the win here than ever before. What was the big difference?
It just was getting much used to this kind of tracks where in Europe we don't have, so it's quite difficult to get used to there. But also in my case, for example, the new package with the Mugen, with the new Mugen, the Ninja, and Hot Race were awesome. It fits super nice for me, so I'm pretty confident and just been super close to the win, but I'm really happy.
Anybody you want to say thank you to?
Just thank you to everyone, just to believe in us and to believe in our brand and sponsors, everyone who who just continue believing us each race by race, and my family, that they're sleeping, I think, now. So that's all. Thank you to you also for the coverage and the dirt, the track, everything.
Yeah, your family can watch the replay. Congratulations, Robert.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And then finishing up in the third spot here, Ty Tessman. Pretty darn close this time, but able to escape those gremlins from last year, get on the podium.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing starting first and not winning, but we had a lot of bad luck in the couple past years. So to have a run without any issues, car finished good. My car was really good the whole time. It's just this track is hard to race on, and it's even harder to battle on. So just kind of happy that everything went smoothly. Still a top 3, but it's definitely a little bit of a disappointment not to win.
You talked about how you've had gremlins here the last couple of years, mechanical issues and just fluke weird things happening. Was that ever in your mind during this race?
I just tried not because I anything about it as fast as I could and trying to keep up with the guys. Yeah, it's good to finish and have everything kind of work. We figured out everything, I guess, as far as the mechanical issues and electronic issues, but it was good to kind of come back and just get a good run in.
Anybody you want to say thank you to?
Yeah, I just want to thank all my sponsors for all their support and help over the years, all my family for their love and support through all the thick and thin, and then most importantly, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Ty, and congratulations.
Thanks.
An amazing finish to an amazing Pro Buggy final here. A lot of history being made tonight, and God darn it, it's cold. I'm going to send it back to the booth.
Yeah, we're sitting there watching you shivering, Aaron, so that was kind of I'm sitting here thinking, why don't you have a jacket on? It's like 30 degrees outside. But, hey, you're from Portland. I mean, I'm sure you're used to that kind of stuff. So, yeah, tremendous wrap-up to the 2018 Dirt Nitro Challenge. We're going to let Aaron come back into the warm announcers booth, and we'll do our wrap-up report. So, big thanks to everybody for tuning in and watching all around the world. So, again, stay tuned. We'll be back with you here in just a few seconds with our wrap-up of the event.
This is the ProTech RC LS5. It's a 5-port long-stroke .21 nitro engine, perfect for buggies and great for truck. It features everything you'd expect, like an easy-to-tune, heat-resistant carburetor, turbo plug, large cooling head, and explosive power, all at a price point that blows away the competition. When you need unbelievable torque and gallon after gallon reliability, head on over to A-Main Hobbies and pick up the ProTech LS5.
Hi, I'm Shane Kelly with Leadfinger RC. We're here at the 2018 Dirt Nitro Challenge, debuting the new LFR A2 Tactic body for the Techno NB48.4. Body's been working awesome on this high grip, high speed layout, providing the perfect downforce to get around the track as fast as possible. You can check it out today at leadfingerrc.com.
Why do racers from around the world shop at amain.com Performance Sports and Hobbies? Because winners and world champions shop with the best. We have the hottest new racing kits on the market and the parts and accessories you need to make it to the A-Main. Your competitors already shop with us, shouldn't you? Find out why we're the world's #1 source for the gear you need to make it to the podium. Join the race. Log on to amain.com today. amain.com.
When it comes to true champions by design, Team Associated radio-controlled cars have everyone beat, hands down. With multiple national and world titles won over the decades, it's no wonder Team Associated RC vehicles are the highest performing cars and trucks on the track today. So get behind the wheel of your very own Team Associated radio-controlled car or truck and be part of the winning team. Will you be the next world champion?
Welcome back to the Savox broadcast booth for the final time here at the Fear Farm RC Raceway in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Aaron Waldron here with Richard Lake, and I'm not sure, is the earth shaking or is it just me?
I'm pretty sure it was you. You think somebody who lives in the cold weather would go outside with a jacket, but hey, You got to feel it, I guess.
Oh, it's only going to be like 5 minutes. I ought to be all right. Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, I guess when everyone else is in a sweatshirt and jacket, short sleeve shirt's not the best idea.
Probably not the best thing to do. So.
That was not great, Bob.
Yeah, no. Should have got a little insight on that one. But, hey, you learned from the second time. So.
Yeah. All right. I've never done this before, I promise.
We're new at this.
Well.
Any comments will be taken to heart, please.
Sure, yeah.
Send in some insight.
Yeah, if you've got some expert advice, for all those who have more experience out there, please let me know.
Exactly.
David Ronefalk. Whoa.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Laid it down.
And held it together at the end when he wasn't just out front.
Absolutely. Yeah, the only time it came into play was when time was expired and he clipped the tube.
Right.
Trying to play it safe, and Battier was right there.
Yeah. But he withstood attacks from Tessman, from Mayfield, and then from Battier at the end. Held it together, did what he needed to do.
Absolutely.
And he talked about it, comparing it to the Worlds back in 2016, when he was just able to get out front and kind of do his own thing.
Yep.
And this time, he never really got left alone.
Exactly. And the podium from tonight's race, same exact as it was at the Worlds.
Right, yeah. Ronefalk, Battier, Tessman.
Yep.
Robert Battier, I can't tell you how many times I've seen him at this race. And the Europeans, every time they tell us they come over here, we like running on these tracks. We know we need to get better at them.
Yep.
It's nothing like they ever see at home. The surface is different. The layout's different. The jumps are different. And the American drivers drive them differently.
Oh, yeah.
And so for Battier to come in here, hot race tires, pretty darn unproven.
Yeah.
MBX8, they ran it at Montpellier, but, it was obviously a new car for them. And so he comes out here. We had no idea what to expect. Second place is not what we expected.
Not what we expected at all. And his car, by large, looked to be the best out there.
Oh, yeah.
From just carrying corner speed to going through the rough and tough, his car was one of the best. The tires were phenomenal. Yep. They did what they needed to do. So, everybody out there take note. They're definitely a new contender on the market.
And from 8th on the grid, I think makes that even more impressive. I think Robert Battier sort of gets forgotten in this new generation of racers. I remember meeting Robert at the Worlds back in 2004. That guy's been around a long time.
Yeah.
And it has been 6 years since he was the world champion. So especially over here stateside, I think, we think about the European drivers. Obviously, we think of, Ronefalk and Bruno. But Robert Battier came to play this weekend.
Exactly. And the nice thing that it was nice to see with the European drivers is the attack that they had on the track. Usually, they're used to the nice flowing, carry the corner speed tracks, not the point and shoot, attack the jumps. And this year they came, with a different mindset, I think, to really attack what they needed to see.
And it almost seemed like they all played together because they had way more drivers in the main as usual.
Yep.
Ronefalk and Battier. I don't think that Joao and Barufalo and Robert and David are all how do we figure this out? But something changed.
Yeah.
This year
they were all
different.
clicking. They were all clicking. And the nice thing was, like you said, you saw so many Europeans up in the mix this weekend that it was anybody's ball game.
Yeah.
It truly was.
And so to have those two out front and then see Ty Tessman, when Tessman and Mayfield have won this race more than any other people since 2007, and Tessman and Mayfield were 3rd and 4th. Usually we see that 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, exactly. But, kudos to Ty. He kept his head down. He had a little bit of rough luck. Salvaged a 3rd out of it. And, he's got to be happy with the performance, even though, he didn't say he was happy with the performance. Anytime you get a top 3 at this event, everybody wants to win. Don't get me wrong. You definitely want to. But if you could do a top 3 at the Dirt Nitro Challenge, it's called the challenge for a reason.
Especially, I think, given what he had last year and even last night in the truck main.
Exactly.
Tessman says when they go to a race, they go to win.
Yep.
But I have a feeling he's going to be happier with this 3rd place than usual.
Absolutely.
And as we talked about, Ryan Mayfield in the 4th spot, a terrific finish for him. Joe Bornhorst grabbing a top 5.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, best finish for Joe at this race.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, watching the techno cars all weekend, they've been looking good. And again, that's another team that's new to the market. They're gelling. They're finding out the different setups, the different quirks with the car. They're always going to be testing and tuning it. They don't have, as much track time as everybody else does. So for them to come out, put Bornhorst in the top 5, again, kudos to that team. They're working. They're doing the team thing. They're doing what they need to do.
By the way, gelling races for X-Ray. Anyway, Renault Savoia finishing 6th. He was 12th on the grid. He did say before the race that he was going to win it, and maybe that was kind of a callback to Cole last night. I don't know. I don't know if Reno just absolutely thought his car was, phenomenal. But, I mean, to go from 12th on the grid to 6th in this kind of field, he picked up, more spots. He picked up the same amount of spots as Batye did.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrific run there for Savoia. Cavalieri, a multi-time former champion, finishing 7th from 7th on the grid. Obviously not his best.
Yeah.
Doing all right, though. Cole Ogden picking up another 5 spots. Did well in truck. Did well here in buggy. Tanner Stees picked up a couple of positions.
Yeah.
Tanner Stees, that's kind of one of those things where, he qualified 11th. He finished 9th. I don't think anyone leaves this race going like, man, Stees killed it. But, that's not easy.
when you're moving up in the Pro Buggy A finale, if you can advance even 1 spot on this track, you've done yourself a service.
Yeah.
To move up 2, even more of a service. If you can win, hey, hats off to you.
Yeah.
But, any spot that you get above where you qualify, it's a win in the book.
Jared Tebow, his first Nitro race without former team manager and mechanic Joe Pillars. Have no idea how much that contributed to it. Of course, in the main events, just not really able to do much once he got there.
Yeah. Yeah, he was he was there. He had a couple glimpses where he was looking in. But I think the consistency just wasn't right there like he wanted.
No, Spencer Rivkin finishing 11th, same thing. He qualified 10th. He finished 11th. He wasn't super happy with how he qualified in either class. He did get up on the podium in the truck category, but he's going to be super bummed about how he finished here.
Exactly. Yeah, and he always likes to think that Buggy is definitely the foray. That's what he's used to driving. So I know he's not happy with how he did, but at the same token, he's going to take it as learning experience because that's the work ethic that Spencer has. He's going to learn from how the car was, how the track was, and apply it to his next time out.
And then in the 12th and 13th spots, we had 2nd and 3rd qualifier, Joao Figueiredo, Marco Barufalo. It sucks that we got to talk about this. It really, I think, smears mud on this whole race that people are going to look at the fact that these 2 kids who've never raced at the Dirt Nitro Challenge before, qualified insanely well, had decent lap times, but the fact that they didn't finish in the top 5 means that they must have had gyros in the car. That's insane. That is because that's putting the burden of proof on them.
Yeah.
They had to prove that they weren't cheating for anyone to think oh, maybe they just qualified well. And maybe the fact that they didn't win the main was because they hadn't run their cars on the track in 45 minutes and the track was way different because the dirt was way different.
Way different, exactly. Totally different track
nuts.
surface. Yeah.
It honestly makes me pretty mad that that's what we're going to take away from this.
Yeah.
Is someone who apologized for being, not his most mature at all. And frankly, delivered a pretty darn contrite response to it before anybody had to say anything. And these 2 young men who have done really darn well considering how, little they've been racing. I think they were Euros B drivers within just the last couple years. And you have world champions like Ronafalk and Batye who've struggled at this race for a decade now.
Consistently.
But because these 2, you've never heard of these 2 drivers, they must have been cheating.
Yeah.
Just that sucks.
Exactly.
Ryan Lutz getting another techno car in the main, bumped in with the last spot, finishing in the 14th position. Ran the whole 45 minutes. He was 6 laps off at the end. So we know he had problems. Lutz is going to get one of these things someday.
Yeah. Yeah. He's always the bridesmaid.
Yeah. And Dakota Fend, we know Dakota struggled the whole weekend. Starting 14th there, finishing 15th. I have no idea. Obviously this Pico thing seemed like it kind of came together last minute.
Yeah.
And Dakota's done really well in a lot of Nitro races. This really isn't one of them.
Yeah.
A predominantly electric racer, obviously has done very well. Is a former 8-scale truck national champion in the Nitro class. So we know he can drive an 8-scale car, but he's got to figure this Nitro Challenge thing out sometime.
Exactly. Yeah, and you've got to have you have to have the equipment and the knowledge going into it to be consistent with it and, just safe with it. And if it's, like you said, it's a new gig to him. So, hopefully he gets it sorted out and I think it'll be better for him. But yeah, it was definitely one of those things where, he did what he needed to do. He got it in the A main, so kudos to Dakota. And again, he's going to take it as learning experience, hopefully. See what the car did, see how the motor was, and make some changes from there.
And you got to think drivers, like David Ronafalk, Robert Battier, especially Ryan Mayfield and Ty Tessman, they've been coming to this race a lot longer than Dakota has.
Exactly. Yeah, they're the seasoned veterans.
Yeah. And so that's how it finished up here. An amazing, busy, long, super exciting 5 days of racing here at the Fear Farm RC Raceway for the 19th annual Dirt Nitro Challenge. One of the coolest legacies that's been built in this RC racing industry. I love it.
Bar none. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of the bucket lists people want to put on their race list, and if you can do it and you can hang for the week.
Yeah, if you can
have some fun with that.
Yeah, if you can get through it, it's definitely something that every diehard RC junkie needs to experience at least one time.
Exactly. I would agree with you 100%. 100%.
So, special thank you to our camera crew this weekend. Of course, Bob Kendall takes all of our photos, runs a lot of camera. He shoots all my interviews. Ross Walters, Roman Gastelum, incredible on the moving cameras this week. Tyler Hooks, our intern, did a little bit of race announcing with me this week, wrote all of our interviews because I've had a bum hand the whole time, all of our stories online. Eric Jensen, our producer, playing the switchboard like a piano the whole time. Brandon Rohde, of course, putting this whole thing together. Richard Lake jumping in here today with me to get this last day underway. I'm Aaron Waldron. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you from the next one. Silver State coming up in April.
See you later.
This is the ProTech RC LS5. It's a 5-port long-stroke .21 Nitro engine, perfect for buggies and great for truck. It features everything you'd expect, like an easy-to-tune, heat-resistant carburetor, turbo plug, large cooling head, and explosive power, all at a price point that blows away the competition. When you need unbelievable torque and gallon after gallon reliability, head on over to A Main Hobbies and pick up the ProTech LS5.
Hi, I'm Shane Kelly with Leadfinger RC. We're here at the 2018 Dirt Nitro Challenge, debuting the new LFR A2 Tactic body for the Tekno NB48.4. Body's been working awesome on this high grip, high speed layout, providing the perfect downforce to get around the track as fast as possible. You can check it out today at leadfingerrc.com.
Why do racers from around the world shop at AMA.com Performance Sports and Hobbies? Because winners and world champions shop with the best. We have the hottest new racing kits on the market and the parts and accessories you need to make it to the A-Main. Your competitors already shop with us, shouldn't you? Find out why we're the world's #1 source for the gear you need to make it to the podium. Join the race. Log on to AMAin.com today. AMAin.com.
When it comes to true champions by design, Team Associated radio-controlled cars have everyone beat, hands down. With multiple national and world titles won over the decades, it's no wonder Team Associated RC vehicles are the highest performing cars and trucks on the track today.